everyone, and welcome to Meow Mix, the Carolina Panthers podcast. My name is Steven,
My name is Jerry.
and we're here a little earlier than expected because, Jerry, some unexpected news dropped today. Josey
Very,
Jewell has been released from the Carolina Panthers.
yeah, it was very shocking. I mean, I thought we had our starters penciled in as Josey Jewell and Trevin Wallace, and Roseboom would come in eventually, or was the backup. Now it looks
Yeah,
like
especially
complete.
it's going to be Trevin Wallace, it seems like Trevin Wallace and Roseboom. And then who?
I have a couple guys I am looking at, which we'll talk about here shortly. But
Yeah, so, according to most of the beat writers, and I watched a little video from Mike K earlier, of the Charlotte Observer, and it basically seems that Josey Jewell is still in concussion protocol from 20 or week 16 from
yeah,
last season. So he has not cleared protocol. Now, I did see that he still wants to play. I don't know what the timeline is for him, if that means this year, if that means, next year. I have no idea. He's what, 30?
yeah.
So, but still a pretty shocking move, completely unexpected,
I mean, you think about it. I mean, since week 16, what is that? December?
right? Yeah.
Yeah, week 6. I mean, that's 7 months ago.
Mid-December, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's 7 months ago. You're still showing effects that you can't pass concussion protocol. I mean, I love watching football. But there is a certain point where some of these guys need to hang it up. Luke Kuechly did it. I mean, I don't want to see these guys passing away at 40 years old, not able to stand up and walk. I mean, I I was so excited to watch him play. I thought he played well for us, and I thought with a better surrounding cast, he was going to continue to be a good player. But I don't want these guys to be vegetables in their later years. And any safety precaution for these guys, I think they need to take. That being said, I mean, 7 months, dude. I mean, I'm shocked they didn't put on him physically unable to perform, but who knows? Maybe it was the team saying, "Hey, it's time for you. This is too long for you to still have repercussions."
Yeah, I mean, so they're basically cutting him with a failed physical designation. But I think they're only saving like $2 million or something. So it's not like this is a major cap saving move.
Mm-mm.
I agree with you. Unless he just didn't want to be here anymore, I don't see why you don't just start him on the pup and hope that he's able to play. And if not, I mean, yeah, maybe you're eating that additional $2 million, but yeah, obviously they know more. Like they didn't want to cut him. It doesn't feel like they
Mm-mm.
brought him in last year because of his familiarity with Evero's system. He missed the first part of the year, but when he came back, we talked about it. It seemed like he provided a spark.
Mm-hmm.
We were still giving up thousands of rushing yards a game, but he was able to bring some pass rushing. He had 3.5 sacks, which was a career high for him. It did seem like it just kind of opened up pass rushing a little more for the team. I mean, when he came in, him and Wanham, especially kind of the
Mm-hmm.
duo, when they came back from being injured, you could tell that the pass rush got a lot better.
Yes.
So, he played 12 games last year, ended up with 97 total tackles, 3.5 sacks, like I said, which was a career high, 9.5 stuffs, which ties his career high. And he was on pace for well over 130 tackles if he played the whole season. So, not statistically a pretty good year. Obviously, with how bad the defense was, he wasn't going to put up, much better stats than that. But yeah, it's a loss for
It's a
sure for this
huge
defense.
loss. And that's what's the worst part about it is it's a huge loss But at the same time, what are you going to say? I mean, it was an injury. It's not.
Sure.
I hate saying it that way, but it's an injury. It's time to start moving on to a certain extent. I wish him the best. And honestly, he's probably made enough money. I hope he saved well, and I hope he takes the other route of retiring. I mean, I don't want these guys hurt long term.
Yeah, and I don't remember if he had a series of concussions. I know he certainly didn't with us, but I'm not sure if he's had concussions with Denver previously or not. But I agree with you, obviously. 7 months in concussion protocol means there's something going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've got some maybe brain swelling, brain bleed. Who knows? I'm not going to speculate, obviously, but something is happening. I hope that he can get better. I hope he can return to play football if that's what he wants to do. I'm not. I don't want to see anybody out there with their brain turning to mush, but ultimately it is their
Yeah.
decision, and if that's what they choose to do, that's what they choose to do. I would have loved to have seen him this year. Aside from the personal stuff, just as Panthers fans and talking about the Panthers, this is kind of a bummer because as we both said, we were looking forward to watching him this year. It's already such a depleted defense in terms of depth, right? All across the board, but especially at linebacker. It's something we've talked about constantly, the need to get another linebacker in here, among a couple of other positions, but it's up there in terms of need. And now it probably shoots straight to the top.
Yeah, I mean, you have Roseboom. Is it Roseboom or Bloom? I think I always say
Boom.
Bloom,
Boom.
but I always say it
Rose
should be
boom.
Boom. Roseboom and Trevin Wallace, and that's it. That is it. They have to go sign somebody, trade for somebody. And when I say trade for somebody, it's fifth, sixth round pick for a guy that's a fringe starter. We're not talking about, you're not going to go get that superstar out there linebacker. But there's a few decent guys that you could probably sign to a low tier deal that I think would be quality starting depth. And I'm going to go ahead and name them off if that's okay with you, Steven. I
Well,
mean,
before you do that, real quick.
okay.
So after Roseboom and Wallace, here are the backups. This is why there's a need for this, for these names that Jerry's about to read off. Uh, Jacoby Windemon, Claudin Cherilus, John Radigan, Bam Martin Scott, Twasavi Nomura. Those are the backups for that position.
And Chairless is the only one that I really kind of have a no for. And that was because he was pushed into playing last year for us. I mean,
Right. He played 13 games for us last year, and he had 28 tackles, no sacks, one stuff. He wasn't a game breaker by any means.
yes. I mean, well, so Quan Alexander, 31 years old by the time season starts. I mean, I hate saying this. I don't think he had such a great season last year. I will check that real quick. But I think his better days are past his prime, and I think he worked better in a 4-2 defense, or 4-3 defense, and a 3-4. Yeah, he had an overall grade last year at 74 playing for Detroit. Pass rush was 56. Run defense was a 90, so...
Yeah, but he only played 5 games
So,
last year. He
and a
played
lot
9
of
games the previous year.
and a lot of these guys are gonna have question marks on that specifically injuries. We have Chandler Wooten, someone that was here previously, 27 years old. I wouldn't be surprised if he came back. Chance Campbell, inside linebacker, Tennessee. C.J. Mosley, another injury-plagued player. Devondre Campbell from San Francisco, 32 years old. And the one I'm eyeing hard right now is Jawan Bentley from New England. He played in that 3-4. He's only 29 years old. He did suffer an injury last year, but he's a former captain. Got injured with a torn pec in week 2. So, by all accounts, week 2 to now, a torn pec should be probably healed up. I would like to bring someone like him in, if not trade for somebody.
Yeah. Did you mention Matt Judon? I mean, he's an outside linebacker, but
No, I did not. I'm looking interior
inside,
linebacker specifically.
Yeah, I mean the cupboard is a little bare, and like you said, all of these guys are going to have some kind of but
Yeah,
attached to their
100%.
name. Especially now here in the 2 weeks before preseason games are starting. Eric Kendricks, did you mention him?
I did not.
Okay, so he's out there. He's a little older. He's 33, but he is out there. His market value is about $6 million. Maybe a little too expensive for kind of what he would be here, but a guy who's been pretty healthy his whole career. Played 100 or 920 snaps last year, had over almost 140 tackles, 3 sacks. I mean, he would kind of, in my opinion, be a good replacement for the expected value that we had or expected production that we would have had for Josey Jewell this year. And again, a guy that tends to stay healthy, but it just kind of depends on money, everything like that. I don't know what he's looking for.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was thinking about with Jawan Bentley. He's under 30. He only played 2 games last year. I'm going to look up his season stats before that. Sorry, I apologize. He plays mostly in the box, which is what we need. And so in 2023, the year before, he had an overall of 65, run defense 67, tackling 57. Previously to that, in 2022, it was 80, 83 in run defense, 74. So, yeah, he's not a sack master or anything like that, but I do think that that's solid for what this team needs. And again, if Roseboom is the guy, that's fine. We need some depth there. He's 6'2", 250.
Yeah, and I was reading that he was a 3-time captain for the Patriots as well. So that's good quality locker room guy. Sounds like good veteran, good culture guy. You would hope if he's a captain, multiple time captain. So yeah, I mean, there are guys out there. There are some veterans out there, but this is, in my opinion, kind of an emergency situation. Like they gotta figure something out, and they gotta figure something out fast. Get one of these guys in camp, get him up to speed, because it's highly likely that they would be starting the season,
or at least a solid rotation. They're gonna be playing serious snaps. They're not gonna be, 3 guys get injured, I'm in. No, this is. Now, you're going to, no matter who it is going to be taking serious snaps.
Right. And this is not us saying that we don't believe in Trevin Wallace or anything like that, but this is a second year of a guy that was known to need some time, who was thrust into that position. He looked like a rookie a lot last year. Would be amazing if he was ready to be the guy, right? But they brought in Roseboom. They spent a little bit of money on him, not a lot, but he was a tackling machine last year too. So he, could very well end up being the guy to kind of start the season, assuming that they don't bring in one of these veterans that we've been talking about here. But you also have cuts that are going to be coming up. There will be trades available for guys that would otherwise be cut that you can get for a 5th, 6th, 7th round pick. Late round swap, as we always hear. So I'm not I don't believe that we will go into the season with the depth chart as is currently constructed, but this is I'm still trying to wrap my head around it, to be honest.
It's one
Because
of the.
and again, it's not like Josey Jewell was like a Panthers legend or something, someone who we were relying on to be, one of these great players for us. But it is an important position that now is kind of up in the air.
It reminds me of like a Jermaine Carter, one of those guys that was solid as a starter. Nothing like, oh my
Yeah,
God, he's going to the Pro Bowl. But you remove that type of player, and there's nothing behind it. What are you? Oh no! I mean,
yeah,
linebacker was one of the things I thought needed to be more addressed in the offseason. That wasn't. Unfortunately, there's cornerback, and I still think a safety's coming in the next week or two. But
mhm,
uh, safety, cornerback, and linebacker were the positions I thought, hey, you guys, I understand you can't fill everything, but I was
right.
shocked they didn't sign somebody that was a little veteran for a couple million.
Yeah. Well, and that may be why they just decided to go ahead and make this move was, hey, he's not going to at least be ready for the beginning of the season. Let's go ahead, get the money back on the books so we can go out and get somebody that we know is going to be ready to start the season, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's probably the line of thinking there, but yeah, it's this is going to be the Achilles heel I feel like for this team this season is going to be this lack of depth across a lot of positions. Really, wide receiver is kind of the only position I feel like we're really stacked at. Like if we lose one or two guys, we're not completely devastated. But on the defense, it's pretty tough. That's pretty thin.
Yeah,
I feel pretty good about most of our starters, but behind that, it's pretty thin.
and that's what's going to happen. Unfortunately, this team is not deep. I mean, we're still suffering from the Gettleman and Fitterer era where there was no depth.
Yeah.
They did bad drafting, and that's why we were the laughing stock of the NFL for a couple of years because they were bad, really, really bad. Now, hopefully, we're getting out of that, but the depth part is just not there.
Yeah, it was kind of nice thinking that Trevin Wallace was going to be sort of that emergency, break glass if needed, um,
Fight for
guy
that
that's going to
roster
get,
spot.
yeah, going to get some run as a backup. Kind of what we hoped he was going to get. I'm sure what the team hoped he was going to get in year one. But a guy that had almost a full year of starting experience, who's going to kind of be sitting back in the wings, learning. That was pretty good. But now it sounds like he's once again going to be thrust into playing major time for the team at this point, right? Again, they could easily sign someone tomorrow and this suddenly doesn't become that big a deal. But it does feel like right now it's a pretty big deal just because of who's behind these guys. And it's nobody.
Yeah, it's
A couple
nobody.
of special teamers. Yeah.
I mean, guys, we don't know their name. You and I, if we don't really know their names, like let's be honest, anybody that at this point, if we don't know their names, it's kind of not sad, but it's a scary proposition.
Yeah. I mean, if they're going to be playing major time for the team, for sure. Like, there are plenty of guys on the team right now, this 90-man roster or whatever. I don't know who they are. But we're talking about guys that could be playing, snaps
Yeah,
come September
not
right now,
special
and we
team
don't know who they
snaps.
are. Right. Right. Exactly.
But the good thing is, going into the season, we had already earmarked cornerback, linebacker, and safety as a depth piece that we needed to look at. With
Right.
us being fans earmarking that, I assume that front office of Dan Morgan, Brant Tillis, and the scouts have already noted that if we go down here,
Yeah.
who do we go get? Who do we have on a call? I'm hoping that I shouldn't say I hope. I'm assuming they have plans in position to do that. To go ahead and start, okay, now he's gone. He came in. He's still not right from his concussions. We're going to let him go. What's our plan B, C, and D?
Right. You're right. Of course, they would have
They should.
contingency plans. Yeah, if not, then they're not doing their jobs. But
Exactly.
from what we've seen from this group, we're gonna assume that they are doing things the right way. Well, I guess what'll be interesting to see is do they go ahead and make a move now for a safety or for a linebacker, or do they wait a few weeks into preseason after a couple of cut downs and then make the move? Is there an urgency right now to sign someone? Given the fact that you want them in camp, you want to start learning the playbook, things like that. But if you could wait a couple of weeks, maybe you get a better player. It's going to be an interesting kind of balancing act to see what they do.
I think for linebacker, you go. I looked at the depth on the available free agency. You make a move pretty quickly. I think safety, you could still wait a little bit. There's some really good starting caliber safeties out there that haven't signed. So I would wait. And plus, I hate saying this, Damani Richardson didn't play that bad last year. You have Latham Ransom in there that you're expecting to become that starter. So between those two guys, I could see them saying, okay, we at least have depth there. If we can pull off starter later on, that's fine. Great. Linebacker. What? Again, Wooten.
Yeah. So for you, linebacker is now the number one priority.
Priority right
you
now.
agree?
I agree that we still need a starting safety.
Sure.
But we need depth at linebacker more than we do safety right now. Because I do feel like safety, we have a little bit of depth. I would still want a starter to go above Ransom and Richardson. But if they were forced to start right now, it's not the end of the world, in my opinion.
Yeah. They may be wanting to see what they've got from those guys in camp, too, at the safety position, especially the rookie. Because we've seen before, mid to late round rookies at that position have success. And there's a reason that safety is not a huge, must have for free agency, it seems like. This is like running back on defense, right? They're just not highly valued. So maybe it's a case of we can get this rookie comes in and blows everybody's socks off, and all of a sudden it's not that big of a deal. Now you're not looking for a starting caliber safety, you're looking for more depth. For linebacker, Roseboom started last year and he had a good season. Trevin Wallace started last year. He didn't have what I would consider a good season, but there were worse starting linebackers in the league, I feel like,
he
than
showed
Trevin Wallace.
He showed promise as a guy who came into the league that needed seasoning. So that's... I didn't mark a negative on him on being draft or his year, because we knew that he shouldn't start right away, and he started right away, and he had errors where he over pursued. He had plays where he didn't make the right read, but I mean, that was expected for him as a rookie, as a third round draft pick. In my opinion, that was his not coming out.
Of course, and I think most people would agree with you. And he was pretty highly thought of by Dan Morgan, obviously, but by other GMs around the league. I heard after we drafted Trevin Wallace that there was a lot of praise for Dan Morgan for getting that guy where they got him. That with a little bit of time, he was going to end up being a really, really good player. So maybe Trevin Wallace has spent this offseason studying tape and working out and, doing all the things that great players do in the offseason in order to try and become one of those guys. And if so, then perhaps this is a blessing in disguise where we could get Trevin Wallace out there and it's a revelation. Oh my gosh, like this, we've got our guy now. And not only do we have our guy, but he's incredibly young. He's under contract for a couple more years at a very reasonable rate. And all of a sudden, things are looking pretty great at that position. So, not all doom and gloom, just a
Oh,
surprise.
it's. I hate saying this now, but I'm glad this happened now and not 3 weeks into training camp or 2 weeks into training camp, and he
Yeah.
goes down, and then oh no,
Right.
he can't go. Because then
Or he's on the pup and then you're waiting and waiting and then maybe he just never comes back. That would be worse. Yeah.
yeah, I mean that's what I land on. Speaking of pup, I don't know if you want to go ahead and talk about the other three guys that were put on that, not
Go ahead.
released. Wide receiver Dan Chesnia played a few games for us last year.
Yep.
For him, he better get back here soon to prove his value, as that wide receiver depth is pretty solid right now, and it's going to be hard for him to crack it. So he needs to put some tape out there for other teams.
Right. This guy's hoping for practice squad at this point.
Yeah, Tommy Trimble put on the pup as well. Still has that off-season surgery coming back from. Not surprising that he's there. I don't worry about these guys until like week 2 or 3. If they show up and they've got to get back into that playing shape.
And pup in the preseason is not the same as pup in the regular season, right? This is not saying that these guys are going to miss any games at all, right? It's a different type of pup, essentially, right?
They
you
can come back
in a week.
Anytime
Yeah.
during preseason, they're allowed to come back, and
Right.
that's what I think they do. They just show up, they try to get their body back into a playing shape. They want to make sure all the rust is off and stuff before getting in pads and everything. Our lone punter of this team, Sam Martin, was also on the pup list. Now, with that said, Dan Morgan came out and said that they don't have any intention of signing another punter at this time. So my opinion is he's the starting punter, and unless they sign another guy, they have no doubts about it.
Yeah, that again, like punter, I'm not overly concerned about, but when you need him, it's nice to have a good one. He looks like a pretty good one. I was looking at his stats from the last several years. He's a vet. He's been around a while. He went to Appalachian, so kind of a local guy, but he looks fine. 40 average of 46, 47 yards a punt. That seems to be about what you want. I was also looking completely off subject, but looking at our kicker. So right now our kicker is listed as Matthew Wright, who came into the league in 2020, and he has played for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different teams. It looks like maybe played one full season with Jacksonville in 2021. But other than that, he's hopped around. He actually played a game for us in 2023. I don't know if you remember that. He missed one field goal for us. It was a 50-plus yarder. Didn't have any extra points or anything. So that's his only stat for us. But this is a guy who has an 87.3 career field goal percentage. He's perfect from within 30. He's only missed one from within 40. And he's like 7 for 11 from 50-plus yarder. He's got a 59-yarder in him. Kind of interesting. Like, he seems like he might be a fairly decent kicker. In 2024, between 3 different teams, he went 15 for 16. His only miss was a 50-plus yarder.
Didn't we sign that kicker, the rookie kicker?
We did. So Matthew Wright is listed as our starting kicker. And then there's Ryan Fitzgerald.
That's the guy I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
And I would not be shocked.
The Florida State kid.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a pure and simple kicking competition. And because Fitzgerald was considered like the best college kicker last year, obviously. I mean, so he was, I think, 100% last year in college. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pulling up his stats now.
Ryan
Yeah, so
Fitzgerald.
100% last year, 13 for 13, 5 for 5 from 50 plus. That's pretty good.
So I mean,
That's pretty good.
honestly, that's going to be one of our camp battles right there. Is that kicker?
Yeah.
I think wide receiver. I don't even know how to say the wide receiver room competition, but it's going to be
I
deep.
think I think for wide receivers, we're probably more looking at like where are these guys going to slot in? Who's going to be
The
this
odd man
the
out.
yeah, who's gonna start opposite T Mac? Is it gonna be XL or is it gonna be Coker? Is it gonna be Thielen out there? Is it gonna be uh other guy? Uh
David Moore.
shoot. No. Dang it, the
Hunter
Raiders.
Renfro.
Raiders. Renfro. Is it gonna be Renfro? Uh who's gonna be in the slot? Is Jimmy Horn Jr. gonna surprise people and be more involved in the offense early on? I think there's a lot to really look forward to with that wide receiver competition.
Who's going to get cut if, David
Sure.
Moore, Hunter Renfro, or Jimmy Horn Jr.? That you never know. They may cut him to place him on the practice squad.
Yeah, I think that'd be a mistake if they cut him. I'm
Me
not saying
too.
that you think it would be a good idea, but I think that'd be a mistake to cut. I think he would get snatched up off the practice squad very quickly from another team.
I do too.
Uh,
I agree with you. I think
yeah,
David Moore is the safest bet of getting cut and being able to bring back at practice squad. But
yeah,
you know me, I'm not never been a big David Moore fan. I did think he played well for us last year, but I think Renfro coming back from his medical issues and stuff like that,
yeah,
and if he looks good, I think another team would jump on him quickly.
yeah. I don't think Renfro. Well, again, if he looks slow and not great, I could see them stashing him on the practice squad. Maybe that makes sense. But I'm just looking here, like there's a legit chance they keep 7 and then just keep all these guys on the active roster. I mean,
And it's
7 is not outrageous.
no, I mean
It does
especially if
happen.
you consider Jimmy Horn Jr. basically. He's a practice
Right.
squad guy. He's there's some guys you keep for practice squad, and he's just that.
Or, they keep him as a returner and let him play, let him return, let him play
Oh,
special teams.
oh, 100%. Like that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. You keep him there in the receiving room, but
Oh,
you
you're saying gotcha. He's
who
like a
would?
developmental player, but he's going to be on the roster.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of
Yeah.
the safety we always kept just because he was a great, great
Yeah.
player on special
That guy
teams.
was that guy was a really good special teams player.
I can't think of his
Remember?
name.
Remember who he is? Yeah. He had a first name and a last name, I think. Um, no, it's like, like Joe Webb. Joe Webb always made the team because he
He
could play
added
special
that.
teams,
He
right?
he
He just
added.
had, yeah. Guys that have multiple skill sets can do more than one thing. There's always a place for them.
Yeah.
But I hope they do keep 7. That's, to keep one less linebacker, I guess, and keep an extra wide receiver. Did you
XL
see that we
could fill
signed
the.
somebody today?
We
We
did.
signed a tight end.
Tight end from Seattle.
Yeah, Mabry, I think his name was.
Yeah, he's gonna be on the roster until Tommy Trimble gets off pup list.
Right. Yeah. He's a camp buddy.
Camp body, maybe eventually practice squad guy. That
Yeah. Yeah. I saw some film from I don't know if these were like pre-workouts or what these were, but of Bryce to Sanders in the end zone. Very nice catch from Sanders over a defender. Just a sign of things to come.
I hope so,
I'm so
man.
stoked, man. I'm really excited about all these skill positions. I'm just so excited to watch these guys this year.
I am too. I am so excited. There's gonna
Yeah.
be a lot of fun going on.
Yeah, we are 2 weeks and 3 days away from the first preseason game, which again, it's preseason, but we're gonna get to see a lot of these we're going to get to potentially see our starting linebacker at some point this year playing in the third and fourth quarter of these games.
Now I will say this as a earmark. Remember, guys, Dave Canales does not like to play his starters in these 3 games. We've learned that last year, and a lot of teams are now leaning towards this preseason not being anything, and the practices with another team are more their preseason games. So be prepared to be very disappointed in 2 weeks. And oh man, we're watching what's our 3rd string quarterback's name? 4th string quarterback.
Jack Plummer.
Yes.
And Ethan Garbers.
Because I don't even think Andy Dalton's going to play that much, because we know what we have in Andy Dalton.
I don't think it'd be very smart to play Andy Dalton, to be honest with you.
No, I don't either.
Keep him and Bryce healthy, and it's going to be Jack Plummer to Jimmy Horn Jr. and David Moore might be out there some, but even him as a vet, I imagine we'll see some Hunter Renfrow just to see him out there running around.
Yeah,
he'll probably want to play, but it's.
Let's be honest. We don't want to hurt Andy Dalton's gorgeous flock of red hair. I mean, that thing is I'm jealous of that hair, man. I mean, even if it's bright red, but I mean, God, I'm balding here, and I'm just like, man, I want that.
Well, mine's two-tone, so I'd take a single color, even if it was red. Nah, probably not red. I like mine better than red. But
I was like, I got two-tone and balding there. Until I go to what is that? Turkey. Unless I go to Turkish hair salon.
Right. I do expect to see a lot of our rookie defense in the preseason. So Princely, Scorton, I expect to see those guys out there. Ransom, as we've talked about, I think he'll be out there quite a bit. And some guys from last year like Damani Richardson, he'll be out there. Trevin Wallace, I would have expected to play a lot, but now I think probably not, right?
Yeah, you can't risk it at this point. You maybe get him in there for a series or 2, and then you can get him out just because.
Treat him like a starter, yeah.
I mean, we did forget to mention something. Oh, God, Nick Scorton did finally sign his 2nd round tender. I wasn't following that at all. I didn't either. It was all the 2nd round guys were trying to hold off for guaranteed contracts, and rightfully so. They were playing the money game, and a lot of them got a lot better contracts due to that. Now, it's not the Shamar Stewart situation in the Bengals where Bengals are trying to screw him over and all that fun jazz. It was just they were trying to get the most money. I assumed during training camp started that they would sign, and sure enough, all of them but 4 did. So except for the Browns guy who got in trouble with domestic violence, who they said stay away.
Yeah, they declined his offer. I mean, I'll be completely honest. I completely forgot that he hadn't already signed because he's been around. We've seen him around the team and everything, so it was just obviously one of those things, but glad to hear they got it done. It's really interesting following that Shamar Stewart thing, especially with Hendricks as well. Mm-hmm. He's holding out too. So
he left Cleveland.
Yeah, I saw it.
He went to Florida. He lives
in Jacksonville now. Boy, I mean, hey, he's still kind of out there, and if Cincinnati doesn't want to pay him, would I hate for the Panthers to make a trade for him and back up the Brinks truck? I don't think I'd hate it.
I mean, no. I mean, what he's done the past few years, he's been the best pass rusher there is. I mean... Yeah.
It'd be a lot of money.
It would be a lot of money.
Over 40 a year. But
I know we have gone through our very rough patch, but man, the way the Bengals do some of their players is so shady. like the Shamar Stewart issue is just the Bengals being cheap.
Yeah.
You don't draft a guy.
They're trying to set an example.
Yeah, they're
with
trying to
him.
because they want to do that in the future for all other first round picks, and they're the
Right.
only ones who've done it or even attempted to do it. It's like,
Yeah.
well, if you're that worried about your first round pick not making it to year 4, you know what? Don't draft him in the first round. I mean,
Sure. I mean, he
I wouldn't have drafted Shamar Stewart in the first round, but
no, I think we even talked about him on one of our previews, and we were like, nah. It's like there was a reason. I don't know if it was a character thing or what, but we had no
four and
interest.
a half sacks in like 4
Yeah.
years or 3
Yeah.
years, like starting. Like that's just not good. That's just
This
not
is
good.
one. It's yeah. It's one of those guys that like he's drafted on potential. He's drafted on size. He's drafted on all the metrics, but he didn't actually show anything really in college. But yeah, he could go back into the draft, and if he does that, I don't know
Yeah,
what happens with him next year.
I
Does he get drafted in the fifth round? Who knows?
this is crazy. He could go back to Texas A&M. The way
I read that. I don't know how that even works.
because
Would
they're
he be able
allowed
to
to.
play?
Yeah, he would be able to re-enroll at Texas A&M and play because he is allowed to have a agent now, so he could actually go back to college and probably make more money anyways
It
nowadays.
said, yeah, I just pulled up an article. It says he's been practicing with Texas A&M.
I would love it. I would love it just because I hate the front
Yeah,
office of the Bengals
that
because they're so cheap.
would be fun. That would be such
It's
an
a
embarrassment.
Ohio. What does your pro football teams do, man? Like your ownerships are just god awful.
And this is the Panthers fans saying this, who has David Tepper widely considered one of the worst owners in the league over the last
Throwing
few
drinks
years.
on fans.
Right? Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, luckily he seems to have faded into the background some over the last couple of seasons. So
I'm
hopefully
hoping that Frank Reich season has calmed him down. Dave Canales has,
humbled him a little bit.
yeah, Dave Canales has, at least has the ship looking like it's in the right direction. So
Yeah. Yeah. And, sometimes it takes guys a little while to understand that maybe they don't know best and they need to back off. So it
I
seems like
hope so.
we're heading in the right direction. Yeah. But hey, training camp is here. We're all excited. Jerry and I hopefully will have some more content for you guys. I don't know if we'll come back this week,
Yeah, I don't
given
know.
that we've done. Yeah, well, we'll kind of have to see. We'll see what news comes out if there's something to talk about.
Yeah, it's so hard right now because it is, especially with there's no camp that we can watch or anything. Like we're gonna be strictly following Mike K, Joe Person, all
Sheena.
Sheena. Thank you,
Yeah.
Sheena Quick. Like all the good
Yeah.
beat writers there. It's a name I left off there, and
Yeah. You said all the good beat writers.
yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah. Tandy Newsome not going to be noted here. He asked. I was watching Robert Hunt had a press conference today. Have you seen it? Because David Newton asked him a question about Bryce being benched, and he was like, "Man, I don't even want to talk about that. I didn't even hear what you said. Those words went into my ear and right out the other ear." He's like, "What did you even say? I don't even know what you said. I don't want to talk about that." And then David Newton just like pounded him even further. He's like, "I mean, you guys had to feel something. You had to feel something." And when Bryce was like, "God, man, like get over it."
That was like
It was
week
a
6
year
of
ago.
last. You asked that like back then, like.
Yeah.
And speaking of Robert Hunt, congratulations, he got engaged just recently.
I saw that. Yeah.
By the Panthers Instagram. I
Social
saw a
media
little
team,
thing. Yeah, I saw that he just got engaged. So congratulations, even though you'll never hear this. So
Yeah. Well, man, we've been complaining about David Newton for I don't even how many years? A decade?
it's just
More?
amazing how bad he is. Like this isn't
It really
our
is.
career job. Like how are you messing things up so bad?
We'll know that the Panthers have crawled out of the hole once ESPN finally gets around to firing David.
No, ESPN loves to keep cheap guys, and I think David Newton's just
Well, that's true. We probably make more money than David Newton does. Oh my gosh.
That's just wrong. But
Well, I hope that yeah, I can't stand reading anything he writes. I can't stand listening to him.
any tweet I see or anything
Yeah.
with him, I shrug it off. Like when Joe Person wrote that article about Taylor Moton having the front office, I'm like, okay, he has legit sources and everything else.
Right.
Like WFNZ, their guys, the Mac and Bone show and all they all have good sources. It just feels like no one respects David Newton. None of his colleagues or anybody else seems to respect him. How is he still there?
And again, this is us looking from the outside, just what we see and what we hear. We don't see a lot of collaboration with him and any of the folks. And we definitely know what kind of content we're getting out of David Newton, which is pretty poor.
Yeah. Speaking of beat writers for the Panthers, former beat writer Jordan Rodriguez hosted a NFL Daily a couple days ago, 4 days ago, it says, with JJ Jansen about training camp myths and facts. Highly suggest listening to it. It is a bunch
with JJ Jansen.
With JJ Jansen, it is nothing but Panthers discussions, really, and it is so good. I highly recommend listening to it.
Okay, I'll have
First
to
of all,
that.
Jordan Rodriguez is a great beat writer and a great host, so check it out.
She's a rock star. I was so upset when she left, to go to the Rams, but glad that I've listened to her before on some of those podcasts, and she's really good. I always wish that we could have gotten her on the podcast when she was around here, but
yeah, she is phenomenal.
I think her star was too far gone already.
Yeah, she was hosting that instead of Greg Rosenthal, who was, I guess, on vacation, but still, like, I listened to that because I saw, JJ Jansen's doing it. It was phenomenal. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It talks about Luke, talks about Greg Olson, talks about their Pee Wee's baseball team and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun, guys.
Yeah, definitely check that out. Thanks for the recommendation. All right, Jerry. Well, I think that's probably going to do it.
All right. We want everybody to thank you for listening. If you like the show, please let your friends know. Please check out our t-shirt shop at TeePublic. Link will be in the description below. Please follow us on Twitter at MeowMixPodcast. If you have any questions or comments, you can email us at mailbag@meowmixpodcast.com. And if you leave us a 5-star review with a comment on Apple Podcasts, we'll read it on the show.
We will be back potentially later this week, definitely early next week. And until then, everybody stay safe out there and keep pounding.